So, there we go. So welcome to our supporting practice workshop. And I'm so delighted that you could all make it. Thank you for taking the time to join me. I hope you have your beverage to enjoy. I'm just going to share my prezzo. So if anything fails, just let me know and I'll fix it up. Okay. So I don't know about you, but as a parent of musicians, sometimes this is the face I might encounter when I ask my children to do some practice. And we all know that anything we practice, we get better at. It's a really cool thing, makes life heaps easier when we can do things well. And practicing is not always something that we want to do. So what I'm hoping we can do together is kind of change how we look at practice. And instead of that sort of negative heavy word, I have to practice, or I have to work out, or I have to eat healthy, kind of changing that to something that's fun. So encouraging our children to have fun making music. So when we're having fun making music, we want the kids to be in control of some things, because with autonomy, we feel a bit better about doing things. So you can give them some choices. What days shall we practice? What days shall we play our instrument this week? What days shall we sing? And have a think about your family and your family's needs. What times work for you? What times are an absolute disaster? There are lots of times in the day that's an absolute disaster. So we want to avoid those times. And we want to be a bit flexible as well. It's really good to have a goal. Now, with COVID, we have done this many performances in the last 2 years. And I'd like to change that, because musicians need to perform. We can practice, but if we're not practicing for something, we're just kind of practicing, and I don't know, it doesn't seem to be as much a motivator. So I'm hoping to set up some cafe concerts in local cafes in our area, where we can book out a couple of hours. Families can come, watch their students play 5 or 6 songs, and just like a rolling performance. So it's not as big as having like a big recital, but just giving them some exposure to different performance environments, as well as a recital, which hopefully we'll be able to have this year. So I would like to provide some more opportunities for performance, which gives us a reason to play. We've spoken about choosing a good time and also a good location. If they're in the hallway of the house, which is a big traffic zone, they're likely to get quite distracted when they're practicing. So if they've got somewhere quiet, especially for singers, where I think singers feel a bit more self-conscious with people around them. So if you can find them a nice sort of quiet nook to practice, that's always great. What I love about you guys, you are amazing cheerleaders with your children. So I don't even really need to say this one. You're great cheerleaders. Engaging them with their music could be something as simple as, "Ooh, I saw that you learnt this song this week. Could you please play it for me?" Just let them know that you're interested. And create some challenges for them. So they might be playing something and it doesn't sound, you know it's supposed to be Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and it sounds like, I don't know, a dog has eaten a few music notes and coughed them back up again. So create some challenges for them and say, "Wow, I really love the interesting way you played that. What would happen if we took it a bit slower and just did the first 4 notes? Do you think you could try that for me?" So give them some challenges and celebrate all of their accomplishments. If they've sat down and played or sung, good day. And getting students to play what they like is super important. We do things which can be a bit boring and mundane because we're learning particular skills, but I always try and encourage students to let me know what pieces or songs they like to do so that they can enjoy what they're doing. And make practice fun. Is that even possible? Okay, so I've got some ideas for younger children, and these can work with older children too, but these ones are sort of targeted at younger children. I've got quite a few younger kids at the moment who are struggling with, "Oh gosh, well, how do I help my child practice? It's really tough. They're little, I'm juggling a baby, I'm juggling school-age kids, I don't know what to do." So the first idea I've got for you is some puzzles. Take the pieces out of the puzzle, so make it a small one. And every time they do something from their practice, it might be one of their pieces, they might be playing it 3 times. First time, puzzle piece. Second time, puzzle piece. Third time, puzzle piece. You're going to fill that puzzle up and they're going to have a ball playing through what they need to do to complete the puzzle. Plastic Easter eggs. You can hide some treasures in these babies. So each time they've ticked off that little bit that they need to do, excuse me, it might be play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star 3 times. The first time, Easter egg. And it might just have a cute little note from you. We don't have to load children up with chocolates. Chocolates good. These ones do. But it could be anything. It could be, it's just a surprise. So it could be their favourite toy. And it's like, oh, he was hiding in here waiting for you to play that piece. Well done. We're just doing some novelty things to mix it up. Dice. Mine aren't giant. They're big, but I would like some giant ones. Roll the dice. Whatever number it rolls on, that's how many times we're going to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. Now, for students with long pieces, this one's a bit of a drag, especially if they get a 6. So this one's good for short things. So it might be a scale or a warm-up. Smiley faces. This one's super fun. Each time they play the piece, you draw a part of a smiley face. So they play it the first time, you might give them some eyes. The second time might be a nose. So obviously all of these things do require some engagement with you, but they're a pretty quick win. So it's just a couple of minutes and done. Funny dress ups. Oh, they're looking a bit fuzzy on my screen, but I do love those hats. So each time they play a scale, a piece, whatever it is, they get to choose a funny piece of clothing for either you or them to wear. So that by the time they're finished, you might have a very interesting look. Balancing beanbags on your head. How many beanbags can you balance on your head by the time they have finished practicing? So for every piece or song, you get a beanbag on your head. Or they might like to have the beanbags on their heads. Silly instructions. I use this a lot in lessons, especially if kids have had a bit of a bad day or they're a bit tense. We all have challenging days and a bit of silly really does help lighten the mood. So you might ask them to play standing on one foot, sing with their tongue out. It's really hard to do. Use funny voices, doing things crazily fast or ridiculously slow. So just have some fun with them and give them some silly instructions for a particular song or piece of music they're doing. If with the beginners, so people who've just started, hopefully you'll be able to help them at the start. And if not, just message me. You can always message me. But get them to find different notes. So we always start off with C. So get them to run around the room and then find a C, or clap their hands 5 times and find a D, or jump up and down on the spot. So we want to get them moving as well as playing, because just sitting and playing or just standing and singing can be quite tiring. Some other ideas: keep your instruments out if you can, so that they can just sit down. If they're walking past it and they play for a minute, that's a win. You know what I mean? So that it's something that they can do. It's not, I must do this now. It's, oh, it's here, I'm going to have some fun, because we really want to keep that passion for music. We're having fun with that music. Relatives are really great, especially if your child is comfortable playing or singing for them. They might have been working really hard on something, and you might say to them, Lucinda, I can hear you have practiced that so beautifully. Do you think you might like to play that for Grandma over the phone or on Zoom? Get them to play for people. And it really helps, especially if they're nervous, playing for people, which is so common and understandable. The more they can have those little experiences playing for different people, the better. Or like in my cute picture that I found on the interwebs today, play for their dolls and their teddies. Or if they've got friends over for play for them. Play. We just want to normalise it, so that performing is not this terrifying thing. It's actually, it's kind of fun and people love to hear us. Same thing with the phone video. If you're loving what they're doing, and we always want to be loving what they're doing, even if it sounds interesting, just say, oh, I absolutely loved hearing you sing that song. Could I film that for you? Could we have some fun? Can I take a video? and just have some fun videoing, or even voice recorder for your pieces or your songs, so that they can see that you're really into this too, and they can also have a listen and get some feedback. The concept is the concept for the teddies, concept for friends, for family. And the last one I put on here is listen to or watch recordings. And we don't do this enough. We focus a lot on reading, read and play. But if we don't know what it's supposed to sound like, how do we know that we're on track? The more we hear things, our brain goes, oh, I've got it. And then those crazy rhythms that the kids are reading and doing so well in decoding kind of makes sense. Ah, that's what this sounds like. So YouTube and Spotify are our friends. Okay, so some of the apps that we use in lessons, and I know that some of you have reservations about them, and I 100% completely understand. As a parent of 4 children, I've spent a good portion of my adult life trying to extract children from devices, and then the crankiness that comes from it. Oh, that's why my head's grey now. It used to be brown. So for the piano students, our books, for most students, and it doesn't matter if you're doing a different book, so I'll find a different resource, are our Supersonics red and our blue. And there's a corresponding app for that. So you can either have it in app form or it's web-based browser, and that's got backing tracks, sheet music, games, which are fantastic, that relate to the pieces that they're playing with note reading activities. And it's also got recordings, which is really helpful. Piano Maestro, that's also for piano. That's if you have an iPad. And that's also another really good app to get kids playing. It's got some pop music, it's got classical, all sorts of different styles and different levels. And I'm just going to quickly demonstrate them for you in a minute, just so that you can see. Now, you do not have to use any apps. You don't. They're there for you. I subscribe to them because I think they're valuable. I think Piano Maestro has really great ability to get kids playing and playing and playing, because there's practice modes in there and they get points for accuracy in their speed and their pitch. And also the ability to learn songs that are meaningful to them is really important. And then Tonara, and I just want to have a quick chat about, is Tonara worth the effort? My opinion is that it is worth the effort. If you find it helpful and would like to have a look at it, I'll just do a quick demonstration for you as to why I like it. The recording of the practice itself is not why I love Tonara. I've had some students who are obsessed with the points to the point of distraction, and that's not healthy. So I don't want anyone to use any of the apps if they cause problems at home. Okay, the apps are supposed to support and enhance. So if they're problematic, then we just drop them. But I'll just quickly share my iPad with you so I can show you why, or how even, I use Tonara. So what I love about it, let me see if I can share the screen. There we go. Okay. There's my Tonara. I've got 26 notifications on my student one because I haven't been checking my chat. Whoops, I seem to be offline. What? Okay. So here is my student Tonara account here. And these are all my activities that I've got to do. I don't have to do them. I've got them so that I can do them. So I'm just going to give you a quick example to go into these. I'm going to go into Hungry Herbie Hippo first, which is a piano safari piece that I teach most beginners. It's a lovely rote piece that they don't have to read. They're learning it by listening and playing, which is really fun. So we go in there, and there are some practice time requirements. They're just for points. So if you want to do your points practice, and some kids are really motivated by it positively. So for the kids that eat that up for breakfast, go nuts. All you do is press start practice. Now you can see it's recording. It's not actually sending this recording anywhere, but when I start playing, I've finished. So I'm going to press pause and then finish. Ta-da! I got 26 new points. So the kids can unlock stickers with their points. That's how the points work. Oh, and it's sprayed out and purpled out and showed me how much practice I've done and how much time I've got left to achieve my goal. In here, there's a YouTube link, and that's going to show me the reminder video. And this is really helpful, especially for the rote pieces or things that are very tricky for students to remember. So it's going to take me straight to YouTube. Give me an ad. And I'm not sure if it's going to work for me because I'm connected to about 36 things, but it will take you to the video. I'm putting an ad. Why is it doing this? Sorry, here we go. Something went wrong. And something went wrong. I think it's because I'm connected to Zoom. But it will take you straight to the reminder video. And the reminder videos will teach students how to play the piece slowly. And they're really helpful. Okay, here's my Supersonics item. The reason I'm showing you this one is because it'll take you straight to the app. So this link here, Supersonics Module 1. I'm going to press on that. And then it's taken me straight to, sorry, Module 10, taking me straight to Module 10. And here are my pieces and different things. So the green ones are rope solos. There's a teaching video and a performance video to show students what they need to do. So if they've forgotten, they can go in. If they want the music, we go into scores. Apparently I'm not signed in. So that's how you can use Supersonics from within Tanara. And that's what I really love. But another thing which is great is the chat feature. You can't just chat to anyone on the internet. It's all about safety. So if students are stuck, they click on me and they'll say, help. And then they might send me a recording of what they need help with. And then I'll play. And then I didn't hit record. And then they'll send that to me, share. But they can do the same thing with video. Video is super helpful for me, so I can see where they're going wrong. Usually I can hear it, but sometimes if it's to do with their fingering, their finger numbers, the video is really, really helpful. So they can send audio, video, and they can chat. Students who are in the Miss Beck's Holiday Bingo have a group chat. And as you can see, our students are beautiful. Beautiful help, yes. We all need help sometimes. They ask questions, they share with each other, they're collaborating, and it's just the people in that particular group. And I love getting these photos and recordings of what they've been doing. And they've asked questions. One of the bingo items was play your favourite piece Allegro. And someone has come back to me and saying, I don't know what piece, I don't have a piece called Allegro. And it's like, oh, wow, that's such a great learning moment because Allegro is just an Italian term that means to play lively and fast. So then we got to have a really great chat about what Allegro meant. And now I've set everyone a challenge to play one of their favourite pieces, Allegro. So what I love best about Tanara is that the digital resources that you're using are available. So this is some choral work for some of my Ipswich Grammar students. They've got all their recordings here. They've got their sheet music here. And then they've got a YouTube video that they can watch. And when they go in, so you can do it, you can access your resources from within here as well. So you just press down in a perfect world and it would have that there. Or you can start it before you go into the practice. So that's Tanara that I've been banging on about.
Beck,
Yes.
sorry, excuse me, before you go on, I missed the part where you showed how to get to the YouTube video.
Great question. So So I'm going to use my Hungry Herbie Hippo. So I'm going to open, so this one's in my tasks. Hungry Herbie Hippo. And then here's my instructions. Check out the video to help you remember how to play Hungry Herbie Hippo. I absolutely love that his favourite food is cheese.
Okay, thank you.
Then we go into the link. And in a perfect world, because I've got my iPad connected to my laptop, connected to Zoom, I think it's just bugging out, but that will then play the video for you. And then to go back to the Tanara in the top left-hand corner, and then we're back there. Great question. Thanks, Marley. Does anyone else have any questions while we're in Tanara? Just make sure there's no chat. Good. So, as I said, you do not have to use any of these things. Nothing is compulsory, but they are there to support you. So one thing I love, and I'm not logged into my teacher one, I'm logged into my student one, is that students use it primarily to reach out when they're stuck in between lessons. And that shows me that they're engaged, that they're playing their instrument, or they're singing, they're enjoying what they're doing, and they want to keep enjoying it. And it's super duper frustrating when you get stuck, isn't it? Like, it's like, oh my gosh, well, what am I even bothering? I don't know what to do. They can message me any time. And when I'm back online the next time, I'll grab their message and I will be happy to answer them. So for some, I'll just do a quick video really slowly so they can see exactly what to do. Or we'll have a chat about what needs to be done. And that's probably my favourite use of Tanara, is to help people. And please reassure them. And you can jump on Tanara. I have parents who jump on as well. I love it. You can always, always ask me questions. Linda, you've got a question?
Yeah, I just, that the idea of Sophie being able to video what she's having trouble with, it's such a great idea. We hadn't thought of using that, because we have had some challenges while she's been practicing. Not that she does much, but when she does, when we've had challenges, I can't help her, but knowing that we can video it and send it to you is really great.
Oh, 100%. And I've got more time now also to help with videos. I've reduced my schedule. I've reduced my work. I'm not working at Marta anymore either, which is really weird for me. Like, I've got this time. So I will endeavour to always answer the questions the next business day. So the only day I don't teach is Sunday. So I'm happy to jump on and always do a video or whatever's necessary. Does anyone else have any questions or feedback about that? All right. So does anyone want to see Piano Maestro and how that works? Or are you all pretty good? I'll just do a quick demo of Piano Maestro. See if I can screen share again successfully. I'm always a bit dodgy with the screen sharing with the iPad. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Apologies if this comes out loud, because the Piano Maestro is quite loud. Oh, I lock my iPad in there. Oh man. I need a teenager. That's it. There we go. Okay. So some of the things I love about Piano Maestro are it's super cute. Kids get points for accuracy. How's that volume? Is that okay? Can you give me a thumbs up if that's all right? And I can see that they've been practicing as well, which isn't important, but it means I can say to them, wow, I love that you played that song 26 times. Well done. I want to give them as much positive feedback about their time on their instrument as possible. So I'm going to go into my account here. And beginners usually start on the journey, so kids learning right from the start, C's, B's and E's. As they get a bit more independent, the library is super fun for them. So there's things that match method books, there's exercises which are great, but our favourite one is the songs. And there's all these different categories that they can choose from. Because remember, autonomy is super important, playing what they want to play is super important. My favourite category is pop and rock. And there's so many to choose from. I won't keep scrolling because it's making me sleepy. But you might think, oh gosh, there's too many, how do I know? You can filter by level. So for the easiest, which is elementary. Okay? And they get trickier as they go. So for example, let's choose, I apologise, that's been popular. You can see we've got play mode and we've got learn mode. Play mode is playing the song from start to finish. Learn mode teaches it in little chunks and they practice it without even knowing. What? So they keep playing it until they get it correct enough to move on to the next. Ah, good question. Is this available on Android? No. I know. We've been begging them, begging. Please make it for Android. This one's only for iPads, so not even iPhones. I know. This makes me sad. So if we go into play mode, we're on holidays. We didn't bring our piano. Why not? I say we can do the touch piano. Oh. So I'm just touching it on the screen. And here comes my piece. Now I'm just going to pause it because I'm like, oh, I only want to play the right hand. The left hand, the bass player, I don't know what I'm reading today. That's too tricky. So I press pause and my practice options come up. I can slow it down. I can choose, a hand. Hold on is great, it waits for them. And note names is excellent because it tells them the note names. And when they're not confident with it, we want them to have as many tools as possible to help. Confidence is key. If we say, well, you should know that, that's not going to do anything for their confidence. We want them to feel really secure and supported. So I just made it for right hand. And I'm going to play along. Whoops. Miss Becca's not good at on-screen mode. So let's pause that and pretend that never happened. And then when they finish it, they get points, which is great, and they can level up. The practice mode, I'm just going to give them a tiny with either one hand, two hands, or depending on what they can do. And the same thing, we just start like there's a 6th grade at the left hand there. So this isn't coming across on Zoom view, but that's okay. See, there we go. We can play it. Any students do actually, if they can practice that. Okay, so that in their home folder, I'll pop. Try to turn the volume down. There we go. So there's different things that they can try in the home folder. They're part of the library as well, but they're just added ones just to give them a bit of motivation to practice those particular pieces. So that is Piano Maestro. And there's beautiful classical pieces. The Disney, oh my gosh, the Disney have gone off. They have been so popular in term 4. And the Disney starts at level 1A, but they've been super fun. And the exercises are great. So there are scales and arpeggios and chords. And you can do them in different keys or with different hands. So there's lots and lots of goodies in that app as well. Okay. Does anyone have any questions before I move on? And don't worry, there's not much more to go.
Is there a guitar maestro?
Oh, how cool would that be? We'll have to give them some feedback.
Yeah, it'd be good fun.
Guitar and Android, please. That would be what was the game that used to be on the Wii? Or was it guitar?
There's all the Rock Band and Guitar Hero, but they're
Yes.
not real instruments, so it's
No.
yeah.
We'll have a look. I'll ask some guitar friends and see if they've got any good apps for that.
Yeah, it'd be good to know.
Okay, so as far as my practice expectations go, in the email I wrote to you guys a while ago saying I do have some practice expectations. And I've never been a monster when it comes to practice. I don't think it's beneficial if it's stressing the family out and the children out and the parents out. It's not helpful. So a lot of people will say 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And oh my gosh, how amazing would that be? But it's not realistic. Sometimes we don't even have time to get dinner on the table for the family, let alone enforce extracurricular activities, homework, good mental health. So start with 2 minutes, 3 days a week. What we really want to do, if you can, is just set up a routine. It's the routine, and it's going to be lighthearted and fun. So now, it's our time to play piano. It's our time to sing. We're going to have some fun with that. Let's see what we want to do. And we're going to help them and guide them with that. And one thing that's really important with that is modeling positive self-talk. Because if we think of it like, I am not a fan of broccoli. I'll eat it because I have to. But I'm not a giant fan of it. So I've got to be aware that when I'm talking about broccoli in front of my children, I'm not going to go, oh gosh, eat broccoli. And then they're like, oh no, broccoli. So I kind of have to change my language when it comes to the things I don't enjoy so much, so that I'm providing that really good model. So praise, 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 praise. And I know I'm pretty gushy a lot of the time, but I mean it, you know what I mean? Like, it's because I'm super proud of the students. I think they're fabulous. I'm grateful and appreciative that they've spent some time improving and working on their pieces. So I don't think there's ever too much praise. It's really good if you can be specific with your praise. You know, oh, I loved the way you played Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It just sounded beautiful. And you didn't rush it this time. How good did it sound at that slower speed? So really specific, but positive. And it just helps them work through challenges and feel safe that, you know, it doesn't matter if I made mistakes. I'm still okay to play this in front of people. Or, oh, my voice sounded like a creepy bagpipe. Oh my gosh, but no one judged me, you know, no judgment. We had fun, and, you know, people still are happy that I'm still singing and having fun. So we're just recapping now on choices. It might be, what days we practice? Obviously, you're shaping these choices with the options that are good for you before they get to that final choice making stage. What order of activities we're going to do, or what the specific activity is today. Incorporating interests is really important too. So one of my students, Jack, is a big Star Wars fan. And oh my goodness, if he can't play the trickiest pieces that are Star Wars, he smashes them out. So he's a beginner. He's only a little guy, he's lovely, but he's playing some really complicated Star Wars music because he loves Star Wars. So that interest has really got him motivated to play. Mistakes, give them a big hug. We love mistakes because it means we're getting better. We're trying, we're putting in some effort, we're taking risks, and we're not afraid of challenges or having to go back and do something again and again and again. The students know that when I say, okay, one more time, I don't mean one more time. We know we're going to do it 3 or 4 more times, but that's okay. We're allowed to make mistakes, funny noises, silly sounds, not know the answer to things, because we're all learning. I don't know the answer to a lot of things. I've got to look things up. Things fall out of my head. So we want to welcome mistakes with our children, our students, and we want to say to them, I love that you gave that a go. What can I do to help you if you're stuck? And if you can't do anything to help them because they're stuck, that's all right, because Miss Beck is sitting on the other side of Tanara going, send it through to me, let me know, I will help you, because we're all a team. We all just want to ensure that students feel successful. That's what we want. We want them to love music. We're not training them to be concert pianists or opera singers unless that's what they want. We just want them to really find some joy in their music and hopefully look back as adults and go, that was a really great childhood. I really enjoyed that. And, you know, hopefully they'll still be able to play when they're adults. I know I didn't like piano at one stage in my teenage years and found it hard and annoying, but gee, I'm really glad I kept going, really glad. So thank you for helping your children feel successful. I love seeing them come to lessons every week because they are confident and they are loved. So great job, parents. You rock. So how do I stop? Oh, that's good. I thought I had screen sharing on the whole time and I didn't. Yay! So let me just share my last screen with you because it's cute. Is that sharing now? There we go. I love that little guy. How cute is that? Did that even share? Oh man. My computer shows me that it shares and then I go to stop sharing and then it goes, mm-mm. So thank you. Now, does anyone have any questions? Oh, I didn't talk about practice charts. They can be really, really helpful. They can also be disastrous, depending on the personality of the student. It's the same with sticker and reward charts and those sort of extrinsic forms of motivation where we want children to be motivated, but once it gets to the point where it's affecting their self-esteem, where they feel bad that they haven't achieved something or they're not where they want to be, then that's where we want to draw the line and go, yeah, that's not working. So on our Facebook group, if you do love practice chat and they are helpful for your children, I'm trying to share the screen again. So in our group, if we go to, oh man, can't drive my computer. If we go to files, everything I've ever shared in the group is in there. So there's sheet music, information, dot to dots, colorings, blah, blah, heaps of stuff. Really quick way to do it is to search the group, the practice chart, and there's some different practice charts there that you can access. Plus I've got a million trillion others that I'll pop up in there for you if practice charts are your thing. And that might be they've done their 3 minutes, pop a sticker on it or color in part of it, different things. So they're helpful if they're helpful. So you can choose, you know, whatever works for you. But I'm not going to ask them every week if they've practiced. But I will ask them if there's anything they need help with or if they were playing this week or did you have some fun with your music? Okay. Would anyone like to say anything? Because I've just spoken non-stop for 39 minutes. No? Tash, nothing?
Beck, I just wanted to say thanks for organizing this. And, you know, you're just an amazing teacher, and just the way you like praise the kids, and you said you gush a lot, but I think that's very helpful. And it's certainly helped my child because I'm probably the opposite of that, and I'll have to try and, you know, get a bit better at that side of it. But thanks for, you know, I think with my child, he's certainly benefited a lot from the way you teach. So
Oh, you're
thanks.
so welcome. And thank you. And thank all of you just for being so supportive of me and of the kids and all the changes that I've had this year coming up. And I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. If you had any questions at any time, or if you'd like to talk about how your child is going, just let me know. And for students who've moved to group classes, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for helping me with my timetable. I have a student teacher joining us this term. His name is Angus. Angus has been my student for 5 years. He's doing his 5th grade piano, and he's going to help out in the group classes. So that way there's a better teacher ratio for students as well. And he's absolutely lovely. So I'll introduce you all to him soon. He's a year 10 student, so he's going to help us out in our group lessons, and he'll be leading some different parts of them while I do the one-on-one time with students, and then we'll all come together for group activities. activities. Linda, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did just want to ask about the structure of that of the group class, because Soph's done
question.
one-on-one, just so I can explain to her what to expect. She's a bit nervy about it. Yeah.
No. And it's the unknown. It's, you know, I've found that students love group classes. I haven't had any that haven't enjoyed them. The ones who've been in them have stayed in them, which has been really good. But what we do is we come together and we have an activity together. So we usually play a music game to start off with. And it's something that's going to sneakily teach them music theory or reading or oral skills. So we play a fun game together where they're learning. And then they're split into different activities. So I've got different stations. So I've got a piano maestro station where they'll do a couple of minutes of sight reading. There'll usually be a theory station where they'll do some theory. There might be an oral station where they're listening and working things out that way. Or a technical workstation where they're doing some scales and things like that. I'm going to get Angus to help them with the technical work. So for a lot of my groups, except for my young beginners, these groups are now preparing to do exams. So they'll either be preparing for their AMUB preliminary grade or their grade 1. They don't have to do the exam. It's more a milestone. Because, you know, when you're learning an instrument, people go, oh, yeah, what grade are you? You don't have to do an exam. There's some students I would highly recommend that they don't, because their levels of anxiety are so high, it may be detrimental. But for the students who love that sort of feedback, go nuts and do actually sit the exam. But we're going to do everything that gives us the skills to pass that grade and then move on to the next level so that there's a really clear direction of what we're heading. So before the start of term, which I've been given another reprieve, thank you to COVID, we won't be starting until a bit later. The 7th seems to be a really popular date for most people to start. For people who need to start later because their kid just needs a break, then they can start the following week. But I'm going to put out a clear pathway of what we're going to achieve this term in the classes, so you'll know exactly what work we'll be doing, and then the resources that you'll need for that I'll be providing as well. But yeah, please let Sophie know. We play a game at the beginning. We do, and the students all have some one-on-one time with me. So it's usually about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how many students are in the class that day. And then they'll do an activity with Angus, our amazing student teacher. And then they'll do some sight reading as well. And then we come together and play a game at the end to finish it up.
Sounds good. And that's an hour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, huge. Okay, thank you.
And hopefully we'll be doing some ensemble work as well. So where we're playing, you know, with 4 pianos at once. So that should be fun.
Sounds good. I hope it sounds good.
Sometimes I finish and I'm like, oh, just play a bit of Pandolka. No, it's usually because I'm talking too much. Wonderful. Any other questions or feedback? No. If you think of anything, do send me a message. If you have any concerns, and if your students are going into a group class for the first time and they have any worries or feedback, let me know and I'll be happy to have a chat with them. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone so much. It was wonderful to see you all. I can't wait to get started. Some people are coming for holiday lessons because we're all bored. So if you want holiday lessons, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in the week of the 7th, or for the little ones who are starting prep, the week starting the 14th of February. It'll be our Valentine's Day surprise. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.